Right, let's kick off. So, hello, welcome. My name's James Wright. I work for Breedr and I'm a beef and sheep farmer in West Sussex. I'm joined by Gabby. And Gabby, what do you do?
Hello everyone, I'm the Head of Customer Support at Breedr. So hello to you, and please feel free to get in contact with me if you need any support at any time. And you can contact us at support@breedr.co.
Brilliant. So we're here to talk to you about Breedr, and if you don't already know what Breedr is the precision livestock app for forward-thinking farmers. And I feel like if you've joined this webinar, you probably are a forward-thinking farmer. So our mission is to simplify livestock farming, helping you produce and market more profitable animals with higher welfare and less waste. So that's what we see as our mission, and so that's what we do every day, isn't it, Gabby?
Yes, we certainly do.
So what are we going to cover today? Well, we're going to talk a bit about Breedr, and we're going to talk about having your farm in your pocket and what that means. We're going to give you a few practical examples of where Breedr is helpful. We're going to show you Medicine Cabinet, which is a new feature we're coming out with very shortly. And I've got some weighing videos to show you, a bit of talk through about that. And if we have time, we'll talk about some reports as well. Do ask questions as we go through. Talk in the chat, there's a questions box. We'll get back to you when we're between bits of content. So I want to talk to you about our mobile app. So at the heart of Breedr, we have a Android and iOS app. It's available on your phone. It works with and without an internet connection. And this app allows us to have all the information about our livestock in our pocket. And for me as a farmer, that means that I can go into my animal record. I can look at all of the animals I have on the farm, look at the groups they're in, the fields, and I can then look at the individual animal records. So for example, if I take my some of my heifers, which I'm putting in with the bull this week, I'll have a look at 146, who's not actually a heifer, it's a steer, so let's pick out a heifer. So 157. I can see that I weighed it on the 30th or the 4th of May and the 30th of March. We can see its history, so I gave it some ivermectin just after the new year, and it had a bolus just before that as well. So this allows me anywhere on the farm to instantly open up my phone and find out information about my animals, which is very useful.
Jane, can I ask you a question there? So I note that you searched via your VID number. I just want to let everybody know that we can use your passport number and your VID number to search. And if you have a specific VID, we can upload that against your passport number for you. So it doesn't have to be the last 3 or 4 digits or 5 digits of your passport number. It could be something that's relevant to you on your farm.
Definitely. And actually, when you go and create a birth in the Breedr app, we can set various bits of information. So we can type in the passport number of the animal. We could scan the EID tag if we were using an EID tag. And we can add a manual visual ID. So this, for every new animal you have on the farm, you can manually set a visual ID. And we can also log information sort of required for BCMS. And we can put the sire in and the group as well. So being able to do that whilst you're out in the field is really useful. We're just working on the ability for you to send this straight to BCMS, to log the birth on your phone, head back to the office, and then review them all and send them off to BCMS with a click of the button. So that's the mobile app. So that's where we record all our information. And once we have our information, we want to be able to look at it. So in the mobile app, we can look at growth rates and of individual animals, which is really helpful. But we can also, on the web app, look at more detailed information, such as group level statistics or information about fields, and we can use our filter system. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So you head over to the My Livestock area, and we can see that our dashboard, we've got various things. So if you've got multiple business units, you can change your business units there. We've got filters, so we're able to filter on the list. We can do it by breed, sex. So for example, I can show you all my females. We can do it on weight ranges, which is really powerful. And then we can also look at things like delivery dates relates to the trading in Breedr. And we can look at things like their withdrawal status, whether or not they're in withdrawal or not. Now, one of the other things we can do, which is really useful, is be able to save the filter. So you select your filter parameters. So I'll say 400, maximum weight 500. So you've got 2 animals in that category, and I can save the filter. I can call it heifers at bulling weights. So that's really easy to do. I can click, if I just wanted to save this as an alert on my homepage, I could do the same. I click save, and I could show you a different type of color. So being able to save filters is a really powerful thing. It allows you to easily access the information that you want, to be able to readily be able to see it. And then we can also, when we're in the web app, do things like move animals. We can find our groups, and we can move animals from groups, different groups. So that's a really useful tool. We can be able to look at statistics about this group. So I can see this group, the animals are ranging between 11 and 15 months. And I can see their average group growth rate is 1.29 kilos a day. And I can move those to a field. So if I wanted to move all of those as a group to a field, I could do that really easily on the web app. And I can also do that on my mobile as well. So we can also use this tool to see how animals are performing at an individual level. So if I show you my steer, or one of the steers, we can see his his growth relative to the group target. So the group target is 450 kilos, and I can see that when I weighed him on 30th of March, he'd exceeded that growth rate, that weight target. One of the really powerful things in Breedr is the ability to look at current estimated weights. So that's the weight that Breedr estimates this animal is, and that calculation is based off various things. It's based off your historic farm performance, so it looks at the other animals that you've had come through the system. It looks at the records of the breed. It takes into account sex as well, and age of the animal. So we can show the farmer, where your animal is at roughly. It's pretty accurate with the estimated weight. And then we can start looking at how that affects then your ability to predict cash flow, because you're going to know when animals are coming up to slaughter. But also, if you're not able to weigh as regularly, it's quite a useful tool to be able to estimate those things. I weigh on my farm. I have a huge amount of animals. It takes every 6 weeks, and that I find that works pretty well, keeping the algorithm up to date. So we have a question here from somebody in the audience. So is the estimated based on an algorithm learned by entering your data or Breedr data? So it's a bit of both. So it is when you join Breedr, we help you get started by using the Breedr data, but as your farm, as you build your own data record, it becomes more and more unique to your farm. So for example, you'll notice that all of my animals have a dip here because I weighed very close together, and they'd had a knock. So you'll see that all of my animals have that slight dip on their curve. So you see again there, the same flat spot. Even though this animal increased, the algorithm knew that at this time of year, these animals didn't grow as fast. So that's really useful, and particularly if you pick up trends on your farm. So for example, if your farm goes dry in the summer and the grass growth isn't as good, it starts to learn off those things through the weight data. So that's why it's important to regularly weigh your animals. It makes the information in the system more useful. So if I want to add multiple users to my system, which is something that I know a lot of our farmers do, Gabby, we head over to our settings, and we can look at user management. So here are all of our users. Oh dear, there's a load of emails. Oh well. Invite user, and we can put in the user details. So I can invite Gabby. And I can set her at a different level of permission. So I'm going to make Gabby a manager. You'll probably tell me she's already invited.
I'm already in charge, thank you.
You are indeed. Hello guys, people who've just joined the chat, welcome. Welcome to the Breedr webinar.
Please feel
some of the other things we can do in this, go on Gabby.
I was just going to say, anybody who's just joined, please feel free to ask questions as we go through.
Definitely. Is the webinar recorded? Yes, it is. It'll be available online afterwards. So one of the other things to say about the app is that you can have as many holdings as you want, as many animals and as many users. We don't limit you on the type of business you have. And I know that some of our larger farmers have got multiple business units, multiple users, and it works really well for them. So we've tried to make the system work for small farmers like myself, and then for the larger farmers as well. So regulatory reports, so that we know that's really important, and keeping your records legal, it can be difficult, it's time consuming. We want to get you out of the office and farming as much as possible. So in Breedr, you can enter information about births, deaths, which will soon sync up to BTMS. We can also log medicines, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we also have your legal holding record as well. So if we can look at our report section, and in the report section, we've got the regulatory reports which are required for your red tractor. And we're enhancing these all the time. Medicine Cabinet is shortly coming out. So I'll talk about a bit of a practical example of how the Breedr app can be really, really useful for you and your farm. So I'm just going to show you on the mobile app again. Gabby, do stop me as I go through if people are asking questions in the chat. So if I
will do.
Take a farm, take farm demo farm. So get my animals loaded up. So these are my animals. I've noticed that one of my animals is looking a bit lame. So I'll find the animal in the app. So I can see its visual ID is 761. So I'm going to find that animal. So I can see it's a stabilizer. Yeah, it's not looking too great. So I'm going to log a note so that everyone else on the farm can see that animal is lame. So lame. Move it to a holding pen as well. So everyone knows on the farm who logged that and why that was logged. So I'm going to move this animal to a different part of the farm. So I'm going to put it into the holding pen. So that's updated its location as well. So now instantly on the app, everyone on the farm knows that this animal has physically been moved to the holding pen. And as I'm doing this, imagine that I'm pushing the slightly lame cow into the holding pen. So I'm also going to log a medicine against it. So the way I'll do that is straight in the app as well. So I'm going to add a login activity and the vet med, and we're going to give it a little bit of Draxin because we really like this cow and it's very expensive. So we're going to, I've got all the details. So, oh, a phone call. That's new. So we got the medicine logged. We've updated the withdrawals. I had all the details there, and then I could inform the vet about this animal. I could use the information there to inform the treatment I'm giving the animal. The other users on the farm have got hold of it as well, and then I could, after a time when this animal is doing better, I can do the same thing in reverse. So I can move the animal back out of the holding pen, and I can look importantly at the next weighing how much it has knocked the animal. So one of the important things is we've noticed that animals that are not doing so well, the way we do that is weighing regularly with the Breedr crush mode, which we'll talk about in a bit.
James,
And that's, yes.
We've got a question from Jeremy actually regarding the medicines. Where do the medicines come from, and are they preloaded into Breedr?
That is a really good question, Jeremy. So I'm going to show you right now how the new Breedr medicine cabinet works. So I have a demo queued up already. So I'm just going to show you. So, oh, hold on. So this is the Breedr app. So we've got a brand new medicine cabinet, and the brand new medicine cabinet will be of medicines that you have got on your farm. So we can add these, as we'll go through, we can add these pressing the golden button. This will pop up a screen where we can add this information manually, but we're also able to scan the barcode. So you've got to get nice and close to the QR code, and it will populate your records with the information about the bottles, the bottle size, the number of packs you'll enter, and then it'll put in the batch number and the expiry date, and then you tap in the name of where you got it from. You can add a cost as well, and then that instantly fills your medicine cabinet. So this is really useful because obviously it relates to our regulatory records. We can see all of the other batches of Alleimycin we've got added to our account, and we can see the history of where that's been logged to. So as we log the medicine, we can see for each drug where that's gone, and then it also updates the animal record as well. So those are for medicines that are related to NOAA. So anything with a barcode, a QR code at the top, and if I take off my what do you call it, virtual background, you'll be able to see. So anything with a barcode on the top of it, you're able to scan, and then that populates the Breedr records, and so it makes compliance really easy. The other thing as well is that you can do this, everyone in your business unit will get access to it as well. So if you've got multiple workers on the farm and you buy a new bottle and you put it in the medicine cabinet, if you scan it, everyone in the farm will be able to dispense off that bottle. You're also able to dispose of it. So if you've accidentally dropped the bottle and not used it on an animal, you can log that in Breedr as well, and that will make it really obvious in your records where that drug has gone.
James,
So,
can I ask a question? Is the medicine cabinet available today, or is there a date when that's available, please?
It's not. It will be available very shortly. We're just doing the final bits of testing. So the video you've just seen here comes off our testing app, and I was using it this morning. So it'll be ready very soon. So that's a really exciting feature, and I know that lots of you have been asking for this. So it's great to be able to provide it.
So we'll be reaching out to our farmers and letting them know when that's ready, and we're very excited about that. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on when that's available.
So has anyone any other questions about medicine cabinet? And it's all in our free app. So that's the incredible thing about this all. We've been able to do this all for free for British farmers because we know that compliance is such a hassle. So being able to do this all in a completely free app is great.
James, could I ask you another question? I noticed that you took some notes earlier. Where could I go and view my notes? Is there a report that I could review my notes?
Yeah, so if you hop onto the web app, you're easily able to view your reports. So we can go and click on the reports button, and you'll notice there are several different reports here, but one of the reports we have is the notes report. So click on the notes report, and we can see the notes that I've logged. So you can see the notes I've logged on the cows on my farm. So we've got a cow that I saw the other day that was approaching calving. I just wanted my wife to know. And then I've got a couple of lost tags as well. So, and being the good farmer that I am, I logged that in February, and I've already ordered those tags and put those in those cow's ears, which of course we all do. The next thing I'll talk about is crush mode. So the first thing we did to make life really easy for you all is bring around something called crush mode. So if you don't know what crush mode is, it's the ability to easily weigh animals and attach that information to an animal record. So the idea is it's meant to be really fast. There's not meant to be too much typing onto the screen, and the data flows seamlessly from the weigh head onto the onto the phone and onto the animal record. So we like to say it takes about 10 to 20 seconds per cow. But one of our farmers who started using crush mode just before Christmas said to us that it used to take 3 men a full day to weigh 300 animals, and now they do it in 2.5 hours. So just the not having to write down lots of information has really sped up the speed at which they're able to weigh. So I'm going to show you a quick video of how it all works, and you should be able to hear it.
You might need to turn it up a bit, please, James.
We click on Bluetooth connections, we select the easy way connected, we launch the weight session. What will happen is as the animal steps in, the weight head will look for a steady weight. Once it has that, it sends it straight over to Breedr, and then we're able to then search the ID for the animal. If they had an EID tag, we could scan the EID tag and it will populate the record, or we could search for a visual ID or passport number as well.
So I think that's really important to say. So you can do it with EID, and in fact I have an EID stick here and some EID tags, so you can do it with EID. But we know that EID is not compulsory at the moment, so not everyone has that. So you can also do a search manually, and I'm going to show you how you do that on the phone. So I have with me in the office something called an S3. And the S3 is a weighhead that lots of our farmers have started using. So I turn the background off, you'll be able to see it. So this is an S3. So this is the cheapest weighhead that True Test do. You might be familiar with the more expensive EasyWeigh 7i, which I know lots of farmers have. But this is new, so this has been out for about 6 months with True Test, and we really recommend it because unlike the other ones, the other weighheads, there's no fiddling around in the Bluetooth menu. Using this is really easy, and I'm just going to pop it up on the screen and you'll be able to see how easy it is to do. So we've got the Breedr app, we've turned the weighhead on, we click on the Bluetooth icon, and then all we have to do is just tap connected, and it works straight away. So at that point, the weighhead is linked to the phone. And then we get to, and then we can start our crush mode. So the next step is to click on the crush mode session, and we can do various things. So we can add a draft. So we have a different group attached to that we want to draft animals in, and we can set it up to do it automatically. So we can change animals, we want to draft animals above a certain weight or below a certain weight. And in this case, we're going to say we want to draft everything above 550 kilos into 2020 calves. So at this point, the animal, in this case actually me, walking into the crush, the weight pops up. It's okay, it's locked down, we're allowed to put on a bit of weight. So the weights come across, and then I'm going to search the visual ID, the pretend animal that's in the crush. I do that by clicking waiting to scan, and then I'll just tap in the visual ID on the keypad. And in this case, I just selected off one as well, so I didn't have to type. And then I can go on to the next one. And I'm searching the text now. So one of our farmers was asking, can you clear the text? It does it automatically now. And then the other thing I've just done here, which has happened very quickly, is that I've been able to type in the weight as well. So you don't just need a weighhead. If you don't have a weighhead and you really want to get weighing, you can do that by just having a manual weighhead or a weigh tape, and you can type that weight in manually. So you just tap on the weight box, type the weight in, and then you're away. So what do you think, Gabby? Do you think that's useful?
I think that is useful. I think we have a question here as well. So that's, when will you be able to do multiple drafts?
Yes, that's a really good question. And we're working on that right now. I can see the farmer's name, so I will find out exactly when. I know it's being worked on at the moment, and we'll get back to them. But it should be very soon.
And we have another question for you as well, James. Is Breedr collaborated to use for sheep yet?
No, so we don't currently work with sheep. We know how important it is to have all of your animal records in one place. And we love British sheep farmers as much as we love British beef farmers. I keep sheep as well. So we're working on that. We're hoping to do that at some point this year. So keep in touch. Check out the website, and if you've already got beef, then get using the apps. Then when we do it with sheep as well, you'll be used to it. So once you've done all of your weighing, the next question is, what do you do with all that information? So you've done your weighing, and you're not just looking at when animals are ready to be sold or animals that are ill, which is all stuff you can do in the crush mode. We want to look at like business level statistics. So things about my farm. And two of the reports that I find really useful for that are the sire and dam reports. So we have here the sire report. So on my farm at the moment, I have two different sires. I can see the passport number of the sires, and I can see the number of calves that are in each group. So I can see that this sire has fathered 11 calves on my farm, and I can see the other sire has only fathered 2. So as we're going through, guys, do ask questions. I can see a lot of you have joined very recently, so if you've got questions, do ask, shove them in the chat. Gabby will pick them out, and then we can talk about them. So we've got our offspring report. So I can see instantly that one of my sires is better than the other. Now I've only got 2 in that column, but if I had multiple of them, I could be really sure that one of my sires does a much better job than the other. In fact, actually about 300 grams a day average better, which across the lifetime of an animal is significant. So my animal's grass-based system, it's low input, get a bit of nut, but apart from that, it's fairly cheap to keep them. But I still want to be making sure they're growing as fast as possible. So reports like this are really useful. So this year I've just bought a new bull, and I will compare him against the performance of the last year. And if he's not matched up at the end of next year, so this time next year, I'd be thinking about getting rid of him. Now I'm hoping, because I know a lot about the farm where he's come from and the system, the bull I bought is really good. But we need the data to be able to prove that, and next year I'll have the data. So we can also do this on a dam level. So if you're a suckler farmer, you can look at dams. That report will just load up. And when you look at my dam report, it looks even worse because it's really clear I have one dam that really does not deliver fast-growing animals. And I knew last year there was something not quite right with her calf, significantly smaller than all the others. And I thought, well, I'll give her another chance. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because now I can see that the calf, with this calf last year as well, it's only averaging 370 grams a day, which is pretty poor when you compare it to my top performing dam, who's actually her calf last year she was a heifer, and she did the highest growing, and this year as well, we're absolutely motoring. So if I could have, she's a really small cow. She only weighs 540 kilos, or she weighed 540 kilos at weaning last year. If I could have 30 cows like that on my bit of the South Downs, I think we'd be motoring. But unfortunately, I have quite a wide range of cows, and definitely the slow growing rate of my bottom 2 are knocking off my pretty good 1 kilo a day average above for the rest. So yeah, it's something that I know that I really want to improve on, and I'm sure there are bits of information about your farm as well that you'd like to know about. So one of the things we can do, Gabby, is upload historic information, isn't it? So do you want to talk about that?
Yes, that's right. So if you've already got weigh data, whether you've jotted that down on a piece of paper or whether you've got that in a spreadsheet or in another FMS system, if you want to download that and send us your CSV, we can upload that into your account for you and start putting that against your animals so that you can start looking at how they've been performing. And then, of course, you can jump onto the Crush app to add current weights as you go. And that will start to build up your charts and your performance charts so you can see how your animals are doing. So anything that you've got that is already available, we can add into your account. So please do send it to us in the support team. Our email address is support@breedr.co, and we can get that into your account for you very quickly so that you can start using the app to look at your reports And as I say, then start using the Crush app to start adding in your current weights.
So, and the other thing to say is that this report is in the completely free app. So if you want to get started with Breedr, it's completely free. If you haven't already got your Breedr account, you can visit breedr.co and then click on the Get Breedr button and fill in your details. It takes 30 seconds. So it really is worth doing, and you can start changing the way that you farm and joining our group of forward-thinking farmers. So one of the other things as well, if you sync your BCMS, we're going to send you a hat. So if you upload your BCMS details, that's your farm software username and password. If you don't already have these, we've negotiated a new deal with BCMS and DEFRA, so we're able to request these on your behalf. So if you have just got a Breedr account, or you're thinking of getting Breedr, when you create your account, message in and we can request your username and password to access BCMS. And then once you've synced your BCMS, we're going to send you one of these hats, which is a Backed by Breedr hat. Because I'll tell you what, at the moment it's really useful. I've been wearing mine out and about. Gabby, you've got a Get Breedr hat as well, haven't you?
Yes, I've got two actually, I've got to say, and I love them. Very stylish. We've got a question actually, James. So what areas of the app are not free?
So at the moment, everything that is in the app today is free. So the sire reports, the ability to log information about your farm on the go, the medicine reports, which are coming out shortly, they are all in the free Breedr app, the ability to use it online and offline, all that sort of stuff. The way that we make our money is there are various options to trade in Breedr, and you can find unique trading opportunities for your beef to get the best price for your business. So that's how we make our money. We have given you this free app to make data recording really easy, because when you record lots of data, that increases the knowledge that you have to make the decision to trade at the right time. So, and there's absolutely no obligation to trade. If you want to use the free Breedr app and never trade, that is completely fine. And we want you to use the information here to become a better farmer as much as we want you to trade. So, yes. So if I just show you, once you've got your BCMS details, either Gabby and Rachel, our great customer support team, can help you, or we can also do it. You can also do it yourself. So if I just show you, if you go into your Breedr webpage, you click on settings, you go farm settings, and then we can add a connected system. So you can see here I've already got one, but the way you would do it is you click on add new system, BCMS integration, you put in your username and password, which is different from your government gateway. So this is a unique password that you have to request from BCMS. If you've not requested it already, we can get it for you. And then you'd select the location, the CPH number for the relevant details that you've requested. And then that populates Breedr with your herd registry. So all of your regulatory information will be in Breedr. And in the next month, we're launching the ability for you then to do movements and births and deaths straight from the Breedr app. So if you update it out on the farm that you've had a new birth, you come back into the office and you'll be able to just confirm the movement, which is really exciting. If you're in Northern Ireland, we know that you have a different system. There are some upgrades going on with APHIS, which means that we're not able to link in the same way we are with BCMS. We are working on that right now. That requires them to change some things. So we hope that will be ready soon, but soon in sort of maybe 2 to 3 months. So that's a little bit of a way away. One of the things you can do if you're in Northern Ireland is do an export of your regulatory records. So you can do that really easily by going on to APHIS. And then if you get in touch with Gabby and Rachel at support@breedr.co, they'll be able to help you upload all of your information. So that's will get you going. It means you get your records completely full of animal details. So one of the other things as well is that Gabby and Rachel do is build a help center. So if you ever want to access information in the dead of night, or you need information really quickly, you can access it on your mobile app. So, and you can also access it on the web app. So I'll just show you the web app. If you click on this button, you'll have the ability to chat, so I can message straight into the team. You can see Gabby, Rachel, myself are all here to help you. So if you can ask a question, so I could ask questions saying like, why don't all my cows grow faster? And then Gabby and Rachel are able to respond, but I can also search for articles. So I can search here for articles about BCMS, how to sync my BCMS, and in those articles are videos, and I can click on this video, and Rachel's done a video guide on how to do that. So one of the other things I can do is do the same thing on the mobile app. So I can do that on the mobile app as well. So if I go to the home screen.
While you're loading up the mobile app, could we ask how the Crush app might work with no signal? Does that happen at all? Can we use the Crush app or the phone without any signal?
Yeah, so the app works online and offline. It will always work better being online, but you can use it offline, and we've got plenty of people who do. The Crush mode, you need to be online to save it, but the Crush mode itself, the weighing, the linking the animal records, all works offline as well. So it's a really good question. We can see here on the mobile app, if we've got any issues, we can just tap help, and then it will load up exactly the same thing, the ability to chat and ask questions and search articles. So if you're out in the field and you want to answer really quickly and you're on your phone, just tap the help button, and then the information will all be there for you. So there we are. So you also works over Wi-Fi and off your data. You don't need to be back in the office. The moment you get signal, your Crush mode session will re-upload, and your information will be saved onto the computer. The reports, so this stuff, this stuff updates instantly. The reports take about an hour to refresh. So if you've just come back from a weigh session and you want to read a report, you just need to wait a little bit. It's just because the amount of data that we have to process and go through. So that's sort of our sort of it for today. But we've got an opportunity now for you all to ask questions. Gabby and I are going to hang around and talk through. If you've got any sort of issues as well, we can show you here, and that will help anyone else. So if you've got any questions, chuck them in the chat. Ask. There's a Q&A button as well, and Gabby and I will be able to help you. So if anyone's got any questions.
And if
you can also set nicknames. So someone's asked a question about whether or not you can set nicknames. So yes, you can. So I run some of my animals off a visual ID, which is a number, and I also run some off that are a visual ID, so a nickname. So here I've got Aurea, and Aurea is the one that's approaching calving. So on the mobile app, I can edit this really quickly, and we can also, if you're just starting with Breedr, we can import a spreadsheet of nicknames as well. But this is under the visual ID column rather than as a separate nickname column. Gabby, you were going to ask a question.
I was going to say, if anybody doesn't want to ask a question here, or they have something that might come to mind later on in the day or over the weekend or at the next week, feel free to send your questions through to support@breedr.co, and we will get back to you as quickly as possible.
Yes, definitely. I'm just looking through my notes, making sure I haven't missed anything. No, I think we are. I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about today, Gabby. Is there anything that, Gabby, you think else that we should look at?
I think you've captured everything today. I just would like to go to the animal view and show people how they can just be sure that they're connected to BCMS once they've put in their details. So not only will your animals load, but you can see the status here under the status bar is green. This means that your animals are synced to BCMS and that they are syncing back and the data against them is correct according to the information that you have in BCMS. If the circles go grey, that means that you have moved that animal off of your farm in BCMS. And if you want to keep your Breedr account up to date, then you should also move them off farm on Breedr. James, would you just show us quickly how you mark an animal off farm? I know you might not have any that are actually unsynced, but...
That's all right, I can hop on to our demo account.
So as James said earlier, we will be getting BCMS push, which means that your account should be updating according to any pushes that you do. But before we have that, this is how you move your animals off farm.
Gabby, I have to admit something. I've not done this before. So you'll have to tell me how I do this.
You should be able to select your animal here on the left-hand side, and that's it. And then and use the three, or the option there, or the three dots to mark off farm. Yeah, that's it. Right. But don't actually mark it off farm, but when you click that button, there'll be some options to put the date in and so on, and any notes, and then confirm.
And that's really important because it updates our regulatory record as well. So it would then show where the animal's gone, and when we've done BCMS push, you'll be able to do all of your compliance in Breedr. We'll have the medicine cabinet, which will update all of your medicine reports, and then we'll also have your regulatory record in terms of movements. So you want to find out more about Breedr, you can visit our website. We've got, which is available at breedr.co. We've got a YouTube channel with some videos from some of our farmers. We've got a video from Beef Farmer of the Year. Ian Will, who founded Breedr, has also got how he sets out the vision of Breedr and why he started a livestock software company. So if you've got more sort of questions about whether or not you think this is right for you, I really recommend that as a great resource. Likewise, also, you can get hold of me. So if you want to message me at james@breedr.co. Likewise, you can also message me through the intercom chat, and then you can grab me on Twitter and send me photos of your cows, which I also equally enjoy. So if no one has any other questions, I think we'll draw it to a close. What do you think, Gabby?
Yeah, I think that's probably the right thing to do right now. But as we said, if you do have any questions moving forwards, contact us at support@breedr.co, and we will get back to you as quickly as we can. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Brilliant. We'll be back next week. Hopefully Medicine Cabinet will be out and we'll be able to do a bit more with that. And any other questions, do just ask. So have a great week, guys. Enjoy the bank holiday. Not that as farmers we enjoy a bank holiday. I'm dehorning calves tomorrow. So there we are.
Have a good weekend,
Goodbye.
everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.